In 2010, we got our first look at Yuji Naka, the guy who made these games, brand new game, made at his own studio Prope, Rodea, the Sky Soldier. And then in 2011, it was reported that the game was finished for the Wii, and that Yuji Naka was now waiting for the game to be released. And then nothing until 2015 in Japan, and quite recently for the rest of the world, we finally got to see the game, but for the Wii U and 3DS. With the original Wii version thrown in as an exclusive extra for the Wii U version. As you may have already seen on my unboxing that I recently uploaded, Rodea the Sky Soldier's release had a pretty damn impressive collector's edition, with the Wii and Wii U version bundled in together. You got a nice reversible cover, soundtrack, necklace and art book, all inside a well-designed case. Now if I was going to rate the collector's set, I would indeed do so quite highly. What about the game? Well, as you may or may not have noticed, Rodea the Sky Soldier has not been getting good reviews at all recently. Pretty much all the major scoring sites have been giving the game average scores at best, which is why while I was doing the unboxing, you can understand why I was a little bit upset about my pre-order. However, I've finally played and completed the game, and I'm here to tell you that if you're a similar gamer to me, then you're actually going to be shocked to hear that the game is actually quite good. Now before I go ahead, I just want to say that I'm a big fan of these two games, and honestly, they have some big flaws, and I'm not the first to admit it. But even with the game's bad camera angles, sometimes dodgy graphics, and ridiculous voice acting, these games still stand out as great gaming memories to me. And more importantly, although obviously aged somewhat, there is still fun to have with these titles, which brings us to Rodea the Sky Soldier. It's not exactly the same, but oh my god, it sure does feel similar, almost like we've been here before. So firstly, let's have a look at the storyline. The game's story is bloody weird, very anime-like, which I'm sure will cater to some of you out there. For me, it's about 50-50. Sometimes it's actually quite enjoyable, and other times it's just too cutesy weird Japanese anime for me. Just look at this.
Where to start? I was just outside the village basking in the sun when... Oh my, what a comfy looking birdie.
Chirp chirp. Hey you, do you happen to know where Ion lives?
You're quite the little talker. Ion's house is just that way.
Thank you. And with that, this one's plan is ready to go.
Oh my, a little birdie fairy. Bye-bye, birdie fairy.
So half the time you get these okayish cutscenes that look quite dated, and the rest you have these still drawings of two characters talking back and forth between each other. Which, might I add, is 100% dubbed, which is a definite positive for me. However, one thing that's always annoyed me in this game was the awful audio mixing, where you can hardly hear what the character is saying over the music.
I just finished here too! Okay!
They had this same problem in Sonic Adventure 2, and they've never seemed to have fixed it. Thankfully, the soundtrack, which actually came with the Collector's Edition, is quite good. In fact, I don't mind telling you that I've put it on my phone and listened to it outside of playing the game. So, good job on that one. Next up, let's look at the gameplay and controls. And just like most people, I've actually been playing the Wii version over the Wii U version. The way the controls work is that you point at something with a decent draw distance, which can be indicated by the cursor changing colour, press B to start flying towards it, and then A if you want to speed up and zoom towards it. You have this sort of spin dash that allows you to double up as an attack, and you need to do this to take down robot flying fish and flying CCTV cameras. Yeah, the game's bad guys aren't exactly the best part about the game. However, for all the flaws that you may have read about, I think it actually plays quite fine, and it's pretty damn enjoyable, which is a good thing as you're going to be continuing to do this over and over again through the game's 8 to 9 hour campaign. Although one really strange thing that they did here was when you controlled the character on the ground, use the Wiimote's D-pad. So the top half of your thumbs using the D-pad, the joint of your thumbs using the A button. This for me got quite tricky. And for anyone out there that doesn't have monster sized thumbs, you're going to find the same thing. Why they didn't add nunchuck support to fix this is very, very strange. So let's talk about those bad guys a little bit more. I'm not talking about the ones that you find in the levels, I'm actually talking about the bosses. The bosses are quite breathtaking. And although I will say with the game's 20 plus levels, you only go up against 3 or 4 of these big bosses, and then 3 or 4 of these more annoying same-sized bosses, who yet again remind me of Sonic going up against Shadow in Sonic Adventure 2, are actually some of the game's highlights. The camera angles. Yep, you knew this was coming. Sometimes they suck, but honestly, with the game mainly being in big open areas, They really do not get in the way too much. And finally, I want to talk about the one feature of the game that no one seems to be talking about, the multiplayer. Does this remind you of anything? Like I said, one of the game's best features is the controls when flying through the air, and the multiplayer pushes this to its full potential. It's a mix between a race and then hitting these diamonds, and it's really quite fun. You unlock characters and levels as you play through the main game, and it's good that they did this because you actually end up becoming quite good by the end of it. Oh, and FYI, the multiplayer is only in the Wii version of the game, not in the Wii U or 3DS. So in a nutshell, I had great pleasure in playing this game on the Wii. In fact, I would go as far as saying it's one of my favourite gaming experiences of the whole year. But I do understand it's probably due to me being a big fan of these games. And hey, if you don't mind putting down a fairly steep 60 quid and you enjoy the games too, you're probably going to get quite a kick out of this one. For me, the big question is, would I ever play it again? Most definitely. In fact, I've only just finished the game and I already want to pick it back up. Hey guys, thanks for watching my video. If you want to check out any of my other videos, click any of the ones that you see here. If you like them, please favourite, like, comment and subscribe. Check me out on social media and hopefully I'll see you all next time.